Hello and welcome to Mixomania. Photo tiling is really easy to do yet creates such a cool effect. I think you're going to love it. So once you have your photo on your page, simply select it and you'll see the gray boxes around it. You'll open your crop window, and I usually try and do 4 or 5 photo tiles for my picture, and you start at the top is usually the easiest. So I will just come in and just take a little slice. So I'll just crop a little 1-inch section or so. Say OK. And now I'm going to simply copy and paste that. So I will use the shortcuts found along the top. So I've got the copied, and now I'm going to paste it, but I'm going to use this paste, and it places the object without an offset, and that makes it much easier as you're going along. So I'll do a couple of those. Okay, I've got several done now. So now I'm going to come up here, simply click on the top one, and I'm going to adjust it just below this, the one that is currently on our page, and I will start to move it. And for this one, I want to keep it aligned. So once you start moving it, if you click on the Shift key, it'll keep it completely aligned. So I grab that one, and now I'll come up and grab the next one. And again, I'll use my Shift key, and I just want them just spaced just slightly away from each other. Now I'll grab the next one, and again I'll use the Shift key to make sure I keep them in position, and I will do one more. And we can always reposition them, and you can see I add one less there. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy that back in, and it'll just go right into that position up front. Okay, and once I have all of my tiles in place, I am simply going to start nudging my photos. And you can see that bumped just a little bit, so I'm going to use my undo button, so it'll be back in alignment. So once you have it selected, now I just use my photo nudge, and I will just move the photo up a little bit, and you will see it looks like it starts, and just watch, and you can see where they would be overlapping each other. And you can watch for key things, just kind of make sure they're consistent, like maybe how the balloons line up, or you can see the little pipe inside. So now I'll select the next object, and again I will use the nudge. This one I'll have to click a few more times. Okay, and move on to the next one. And you just keep going through this and repositioning each little slice. Now I could open the crop window, but the problem I have found with that is you can't always keep your photos exactly aligned. So this seems to be the easiest way. And one last photo. I'm thinking there might be spaced a little too far apart, but we can fix that as well. This is a especially cool effect for different sports photos, or any action shot, or even scenery is beautiful. Okay, you can see we're getting close. We just have a little bit of aligning still to do here. Okay, I think that looks really good. Now I can just simply use my arrow keys, and I can do a little bit of fine-tuning. I've just moved up this bottom one. Now I'm going to use my cursor and just drag so I can select both of these. And I'll just barely nudge those up a little bit too, trying to keep my spacing consistent. And now I will drag across these 3 and keep those together. Maybe one too many. And now I'll do these 4. Once you have that done, you can add a drop shadow, and I can say to all of them on this page, so I don't need to go through and do them one at a time. Okay, you can see I have my drop shadows, and you might want to then reposition and adjust even a little more once you see. And you might even add the drop shadows first. Okay, and one of the easiest tricks is also then if you will highlight all of them and then you come up to arrange and group, now you have all of your tiles hooked together so you can move them very easily one at a time. And then I can also use that to align my object still. So I can just come here and center vertically on the page as well as horizontal. Now this one I want to actually be offset a little bit to the side because I'm going to have my other 3 pictures coming down along the side. So now I can just simply slide it over. I know it's centered on my page. If I use my shift key, it'll stay in that same line and I can just reposition it how I want.